Hello, it's me, Pandy, from Pandyman Entertainment. And today I'm going to discuss some of the design choices I've done recently. So, fret level, obviously, there's going to be, if not a new mission already, there will be soon. Keep watching this space, baby. Then we've also got Trench Offensive. I always get those two mixed up. I really need to start naming my games something other than T's. Now it's going to be good. It's going to start well. We're also going to do some more stuff for that as well. So please watch this space. Dwarven Holidays, more like fret level. So exciting times. I hear you cry. Exciting times. What else is there? There's I was going to say sort of my background a bit, just so you get to know me a bit better. About 30 years ago, I started playing war games. 30 years. It's a big 3-0. 30 years ago, started playing war games. I don't look it. I don't look a day over 10. If I look this ugly at 10, my God, my mum would have hit me with a shovel. Please. So yeah, and so I got my first miniatures. They were Acadians. I really enjoyed the Imperial Guard. GW, baby. And yeah, it was fun. I painted them weird. You know? You know when you paint them weird? I painted them pink by accident. They had been white, but I didn't let that dry. Yeah. So they went pink. And I sort of leaned into that. And so that made it fun. I leaned into it and it became fun. So I guess that's kind of where it started. A mistake. Trying to paint white and red. Pink. And I was fascinated by it. And as I've grown older, you know, you fall out of love with one thing, you kind of find others. And I remember I started getting into historicals when I went to a certain war game club, and they played historicals. They didn't really care for GW. They'd already moved on. They were all older. And so I started playing bolt action. I didn't paint them weird, though. They were not great. Most of my bolt action stuff is unpainted, for you grey files out there. And yeah, and then of course, we've been playing Hero Quest and D&D. Like at school, so my school was kind of unique. So we had a D&D club well before it was cool. And we would play pretty much every lunchtime. And that was really good fun. So we did that. I also played sports. I'm fat because I eat pizza. That's my problem. And ice cream. And not just because of the D&D. And no, I was doing this before it was cool. It's a different world now. People have realised actually how fun board games and stuff are. But back when I was at that goal mine, when I was at, you see, with in Yorkshire Mines, yeah, we would, play war games and stuff. And so we had a war game club, we had a D&D club, and it was really good fun. And I guess that's kind of what kind of inspired me really to do all these things and I've always been a bit different. I like being different. I care not for standard status quo. So that's why I do games that are a bit niche, a bit interesting, a bit undiscovered. You know, there is war games that were out before Trench Offensive that were World War One, and some of them are great. Please do not get me wrong for starters. There's some really interesting games out there, but I don't I've done that whole dice roll, lots of dice stuff in the past, and yeah, I. The thing is, I was working in London at one point for a wargame company, and I realised actually, what about the people that like? Because you're sitting there looking at your phone. I remember them sitting there. This is all pre-COVID, of course. I worked somewhere else in COVID, but you just sitting on your phone, and yeah, depressing. So I that was one of the reasons for threat level, because I wanted that I want to be able to play something. And to be honest, I was designing on the train. I was literally like, I would run across Liverpool Street Station so I could get one of the first seats, and I would always go for the table every single time. It was really good fun. So I would run across Liverpool Street Station in London, and yeah, just crazy from the underground, like wrestle people. And it was where complacency checks and stuff came in, because it's that whole world of how many people are actually there at any given moment. There must have been at least 500 just that I could count at any one moment. Um, and so you think 500 people, realistically 150 people you can pay attention to or remember, like names and stuff, really delve into it. But like, just imagine the police work they have to do. Just like, there's 100, like maybe 500 people just at any given like second in, a 60-foot circle or something, multiple levels, and not all of them are visible, stuff like that. So there's a lot, and so complacency checks came in, and and there's been, we've been really excited to do stuff, and I'm looking forward to making more miniatures, making more missions, making more incidents. Now, like World War One, for example, like people were doing it, but there wasn't anyone. They were doing such a small skirmish game. Because let's be honest, sometimes. So there's a really good thing from the 12th suffix. So the 12th of foot, not 12th of foot. That is the suffix. But the 12th battalion of the suffix in World War One. So there was two officers that would often go out together. Plus they'd bring a couple of privates, no more than about 5 of them at a time. And the officers would jump in and just kidnap a German. Just kidnap him, shoot a couple of rounds into the area, and just grab him, and just basically, he's like, German words, or something. I don't know German for. I'm being kidnapped, so just German words will do. And then they would, take him prisoner. I would consider that kidnap. Based on how they did it. It was, you see those intruder videos and like, and the dog's like eating blah blah blah. You could just imagine just grab. Most other regiments would just cut the like lapels and stuff off of their tops, so they could go, oh, well, these are the people across us. No, they'd just grab a guy, rip him up, and just take him home, back to their own trenches. And they did this throughout the time that the 12th foot were 12th foot. Did it again. The suffix were, there. So it's they do it pretty much every other night. Slowly, one by one, kidnapping Germans. So it does make you think, it's more than just a bit of fun. Don't get me wrong, they wrote about it and they had hilarious fun. According to their, they really enjoyed their little escapades. And it's little things like that you go, oh, and it's the same for the Cambridgeshire's as well. I've read their novelised as such. It's not, but, it feels novelised story. And yeah, it's really interesting. Riddle and his footman. a Batman or soldier servant, as they were called at the time. Yeah, he would be like, oh yeah, no, blah blah blah. So and one of my favourite things that so his soldier servant is Nightingale, Corporal Nightingale. He had 20/20 vision. And he had a bit of smarts as well. He had a bit of smarts, and so he would go, "Oh yes, sir," like whatever. And he said to Riddle once, so Nightingale's been hit in the head, but a bit of shrapnel. He's not going to die. Don't worry, I don't think he dies. But he gets back up. And Riddle's like, "You okay? You okay, Nightingale?" And he's like, "Oh, fine, sir. I'm fine. Don't worry about me." And it's little things like that that it gets you thinking about the trench raids as a whole, because they all did it. All, like, there was no such thing as No Man's Land. I think I actually watched Storm of Steel say about this. There is no man's land as such, because the Germans believed that up until the British trench, well, actually, they believed the whole of France was theirs, which was wrong. And the Brits took the very much principle, actually from the Indians, of all things, that anything up to the German trenches was theirs. So it's little things like that. And they both defend them fiercely. And this goes to all fronts as well. This isn't just the Brits. This is the French. This is the Russians. So yeah, it's really interesting. And while you think that the Eastern Front was a bit more movement than it was in the West, in the Western Front with the Brits, it still was pretty stagnant at times. And God, I would not want to be out there. Oh, that weather. I don't even want to be outside now. Well, anyway, with that massive bombshell, I think I'm going to leave you all to it. So, in the meantime, keep the peace.